showing you too much jiu-jitsu to showing you very little. Anyone that's been here in the Tuesday night class knows that when we get to broken scarf or super chill position, this sucks. We base the whole system around paper cutters and attacking Americanas and stuff. Even the pressure alone from there, the diaphragm stroke is there, and I can get my weight on Mark and I start to sag. My weight is on him, not on Matt. I'll show you how to get out of that. So Mark's on me. Now we talked about this earlier in the mesocycle. Mark has broken scarf. It's the battle. See the way he's got elbow control, and my elbow's not here where I want it. Okay, so that's the ideal position Mark wants. Okay, and you can hear it in the grimace in my voice. I'm carrying his weight, the air's starting to get out of my diaphragm. I put my feet on the mat and I do a few little bumps and I get my elbow in here. Now we talked about how if it's there, Mark turns his hip and that puts a lot of pressure on my arm, so I want to extend it and punch it again. Remember that, yeah? Collapsing frames. So again, I do a couple of bumps, I get in. I want my elbow in his hip and my hand here, right? The good players will now make me uncomfortable by pushing. He's going to take his left hip and push my right wrist to the mat. Once it gets to the point where I feel I'm under serious pressure, I'm going to straighten this, and he finds it again. So, that will only happen if my arm is at 90 degrees, the bend of my arm. If it's at 90 degrees or less, he can do that. If it's more than 90, and that's the detail, he can't do it. So watch, he's playing super chill, watch. I need to get my elbow on the mat. How do I do that? I bring my feet towards my butt, I do a couple of bumps, and I get my elbow here. Watch my right hand, it's going on that hip. Now Mark immediately wants to try and collapse it. You've noticed my arm is at more than 90 degrees. See the bend in this arm? It's bigger than 90. So when he tries to collapse it, it's not going to happen. Now what's he going to do? He's going to raise his hips to try and put more weight in, and when he does, whoa, push left guard. That's our first escape, okay? Back a step, scarf again. So I'm here, I do a couple of little bumps. I get my elbow inside, my hands on the hip. This is as important as loading him onto my hip. Elbow in the near side hip, hand on the top hip. Make your arm, the space between your forearm and your bicep, make it bigger than 90. When he tries to get that bend, to collapse the frame, his hips come up, he just escaped my hip, and now I have him in half guard. I'm not going in down that rabbit hole. You don't know anything from there. But let's try again. So this, he tries to collapse, this comes through, and just push, put it back in first guard. That's our first one. Or if you have half guard game, you can play with that. Second one, he knows not to lift his hip, so watch. He has pulled up on my elbow. I do a couple of bumps to get my elbow in that sweet position. Hands on the hip, keep the distance between my forearm and bicep bigger than 90 and I'm fine. From there, he's going to be trying to pluck that elbow. He knows if he lifts his hips, I'm going to get my guard back. So what do? I bring my right hip just towards his butt. I do one bump, and I put him on my hip. Now Mark is connected to me. Wherever I go, he goes. Notice the way I'm on my right hip, I'm not flat on my back. Already, super chill doesn't feel as uncomfortable because I'm more on my side. And now wherever I go, he goes. So I just escape my hip. So again, put him on the corner of your hip. So from our position, so option one, from this position, I do a couple of bumps and get my elbow in the near side hip and my hands here. If Mark tries to collapse that and his hips come up, I have half guard. If he knows jiu-jitsu, he won't raise his hips and he'll try to pluck that elbow. That's going to be very difficult because I'm keeping that elbow wedged right in his hip. So now as he's trying to pluck that, I do a slight bump. Alright, see the way my right knee has come underneath him? And now he's connected to me. Now I'm on my right side. I just escape my hip from my right side. To my left side. Okay, let's play with that, guys.